Уважаемые коллеги,
Distinguished colleagues, good evening for all of you. Let's start our session. My name is Vilnar Habibov. I'm the director of the company Dialogue UFA. For the last 3 years, as you know, the IT market in Russia has changed due to pandemic, and after that, most of the companies went for digital technologies, and accounting went to digital technologies too. Also, some international companies were involved into it. And after the input substitution, our software and systems came instead of them. So if we notice first a big, strong demand for the first time, so right now it subdued a bit. Right now we could say that our market is quite competitive, but still we have the question how to large scale and where large scale ourselves. So we see the international market as the potential for the development. I want to give the floor to my colleague Svetlana Belova, Deputy Chief Editor at IT Channel News.
Ильнар, спасибо большое.
Thank you, Vilnar. My name is Svetlana Belova. I'm Deputy Chief Editor at IT Channel News. Addition, I'm very glad to visit Ufa this year once again with all the events you are involved into. I'm quite fascinated with the way how the Republic is flourishing, and now I'd like to present everyone who is involved into the discussion today. It would be very interesting for me also to listen to the reports and regards. So today, there is Taras Minyakin, who would join us online. He is a CEO of MSK Mobile Company. Ruslan Shamilovich Siddiqov, Head of Digital Technologies Department of the Ministry of Digital Development of Governmental Administration of the Republic of Bashkortostan. Also, Viktor Yerevansev, founder and technical director of VR Finch Technologies. Also, Viktor Timoshin, CEO of Lexema Company. Oksanova Yulia, Deputy CEO and Director on work with corporate and state segment of company Rostelecom. Also, Regina Ganieva, the Director of Dom RF Retail Sales. Before we give the floor to the first speaker online, I'd like to tell a bit about the fact that I actually agree with the speaker that we need to develop and scale internationally. And right now, everyone is actively involved into it. We had the stage when we were analyzing what we can do. After that, our IT industry reached incredible figures, not only in software. Not long ago, I was taking part in the meeting of Association of Producers of IT Products of Russia. They have shown the data that according to the statistics, we had 28.37 growth percentage, and this year it is expected more than 50% in accordance to the way how it is estimated. If we consider the sales market, we could say that 54% of sales was from Russian market. 10% were unknown, and the rest were purchased from the international market, mostly European. We could say that we have the bulk, the majority of products in the segment of software. And it's quite significant because it happened only in a year and a half. For quite long, people even didn't know about the fact that we can provide other markets with our softwares, which are fundamental operational systems and office softwares. No one wanted something domestic, but right now, at least 54% of products are bought here. In order to large scale, we need to enter the international market not only to earn money, but also to gain some experience, because why all the products which are so widely popular and were working properly, just because there were many casualties, there were many questions.
Слова вылетают, честно.
There were hardships after COVID, and after that there were a lot of new implementations. So we found the needs of the customers, this wide range of customers. So if our products wouldn't enter the international market abroad, we would be tied up within this place, and maybe there would be less incredible products which could occur. There were also a research conducted before. The most active customers would be Asia and Africa. I could even provide you with data of that reports. And I also want to understand why I pay so much attention to our software, because the majority of people present here, also speakers, they are involved into programming products. And I'd like to learn how and what about your statistics, your dynamics on the international market? Maybe you need some support. How do you see the situation? Please, not only present your products, but let's discuss how we can scale and how we can grow on the international market. So I'd like to give the floor first to Minyakin Taras, who would be online. Once again, he's a CEO of MSK Mobile. Good evening. Excuse me, I am now using my phone just because I have just returned from Minsk. We were the federal partners of one of the exhibitions, IT Today. We were one of Austria IT operators were interested in our product, and we plan to conduct talks and conclude our further agreement and our further partnership with them. I'd like to present us a bit. I could proudly say that we are having the status of international company with Russian roots. That's why we're so happy about it. We're one of the leaders in the sphere of remote identification of the person. We are accredited and also are involved into the project State Key. It's like e-government. We are residents of Skolkovo, and in fact, we are already present in 2 countries in Africa, Morocco, and we can also claim that IT solutions from Russia are very popular, are in need and demand. For example, in the sphere of identification, the last time we were in Morocco, we took part in one of the exhibitions. We learned that the solutions from France or Spain are not quite in need just because they're different. And we also decided to make some small promotion of our company there. So let's talk short. I'd like you to show the presentation. Thank you. Can you please open the next slide? As I already presented the company. So the technological tempos and the technological growth influences on many fields, starting from banking services up to traveling, from communication up to e-commerce and so on. And our goal of the company is to create unusual and unique technologies which would make a great impact and positive impact, providing more opportunities for most of people, and in accordance with the technical regulations and defending the rights of people. That's the way how we would like to build up the right-state relation. We believe that each person opens this world due to uniqueness of his personality. So identification is our future. Biometrics is our future too. Next slide. Here, I wouldn't pay too much attention to it, so let's watch this one. These are the products which we have. First of all, Idea Abonent, which was for connection, mobile connection providers. If we're talking about the territory of our world, we have more than 500 different partners. For example, Tele2, Tinkoff, Gazprom. So this platform provides the opportunity to change the process from purchase and you can reach the service everywhere. It's comfortable, convenient, and remote. The next is helping that being in any place you'd like to around the world to buy the right SIM card for this region, because we were addressed with some of the questions like it's not that very comfortable during our business trips or traveling to buy new SIM cards of the providers. And as you know, not all the payment systems are available around the world right now, but still you need mobile services and you need some internet connection apart from Wi-Fi. That's why we have developed this marketplace where there are Russian, grade 4, and also we'll add other virtual manual operators and providers like Delna, Virgin, Orange Morocco, and so on are already present at the marketplace. The next is ID Bank. It's the solution for finances, for money transfer, international transfers, also debit cards, creation and signing of some contracts. So as for ID Partner, we are launching the advertising company, first of all, on the market of our country. We are very proud that all our products are in a very great demand, not only in Russia, but also abroad. So ID Partner would influence the distribution format just because it would allow people not to feel like entrepreneurs, but also to start earning money right today. At the same time, it allows other people to get the digital knowledge. The next is ID Guest. This service helps to identify the clients and customers while moving around the world. For example, you choose your ticket, you choose your ID, and then you just show it at the border, at the gates. So the gates are opened and you can enter because the data is assessed even though internally at the airport. For example, if the person behaved badly it would also be reflected in the system. So all our products and all other systems are simple, convenient, and safe, just because we want to combine physical and digital world together. The next slide. As I mentioned before, here is the information. The next slide. As for user path, I'd like to show that it's quite simple and convenient. So, for example, the state key, you see all these steps are changed into two. First, you download the app, then you scan, then you see the identification with the help of Gosuslugi service, and then you just get the government key. So it takes from 1 to 3 minutes, first of all, due to internet connection. To the next. And the next. So if we are talking right now about the banking system, how would it be comfortable for banks? It would be easy and quite simple, as right now we have some problems with transferring money abroad. Here we need to reopen these opportunities for transactions. No difference where, apart from Argentina, right now all the countries are available apart from Argentina. But I believe that soon we will also reach this region too, and it would be possible, both to and so. From the territory of Russia and other countries, it would be quite easy. We also follow the GDPR legislation. It's a legislation of the USA, CCPA. It's personal data with laws of California, and also Federal Law 152, 223, within the framework of collection and storage of personal data. Next slide. Of course, as for user, it's very comfortable to use it. Also, the level of security is very high. We have more than 500,000 downloads of our apps because they are available in App Store and Play Market. No difference which mobile phone do you use. So it's available, everything is available online. If you are interested, you can even try it right now and use some of our apps. Let's go further. This is the team which is involved into scaling of products from Ufa to the whole world. Is Kolya Solonevich, CEO, as the person who stands for safety, who is responsible for safety and defense, and also controls the right appropriate work of the apps. Even within the framework of one of the conferences, we have discussed that most of the companies, apart from 1A, if they create additional one in order to supervise the first one. That's why our app is mostly automatically renovated and also learns a lot by itself. But still, we need a supervisor to do it properly. Apart from that, we'll also have Lila Shakalova. She's our HR. She has created the whole team. She is our leader, we could say, the leader of our company, because she inspires us for moving forward, because within the processes, we sometimes face some complications and casualties, and this person can eliminate it and help us to overcome all obstacles and move forward. Alexandra Asmandiyarova is our creative director. I don't know how she does it, but our user path is unique for each customer. Some of them even cannot understand how does it work like that. And of course, Vladislav Malkov, the Director on Legislation Issues. He helps us in regulation of different arguments after signing the agreements or discussion of all contracts which we have. And of course, I need to mention myself, the CEO of the company, the person who is the driver of the team for the moving forward. Right now, we plan to attract Sultana Kmas, where we go in January 2024, and we will help to digitalize not only government but also the citizens. If there are any questions, I am open to answer. Thank you very much. I'm so interested too. I plan to have some vacation and I need to download your app. So you told us about the entering international market. How did you find the potential customers and also how long did it take you? So the entrance to the international market took 6 or 8 months. The first country was Morocco. Why the reason is that we have made this decision on the basis of the fact that Morocco is under the European legislation, but still they're quite loyal to our territory, and they're ready to sign agreements with Russia. How did we find them? I could say that we took part with the help of the Innovation Fund of Bashkortostan. We went to Digital Africa exhibition, where we have worked with the HR agency and signed several agreements and deals. The rest, it was just up to the choice, as it happened after the dialogues with each unique participant, each unique customer, just because we understand what is going on there. And at the same time, we see that foreign companies are ready to cooperate with us. That was the reason why we could say that, yes, it is needed, not only for our solutions, but also cyber safety, for example, or artificial intelligence, and so on and so forth. Taras, I also wanted to ask a question. You told us that there were French manufacturers and other foreign producers, but their products were not that right. So what are 3 criteria why they have chosen your product? So first, excuse me that I have disturbed you. First of all, we are loyal to our customers. Of course, it is evident when we are, for example, looking for the company which enters the Russian market. So we hear and listen to our customer. The second aspect is that we create the full service, like all-inclusive service. Just because we do it in the framework of our developers and designers, we do not attract anyone from the side. It's only our people. For example, on the territory of Spain, in the sphere of identification, they usually attract other people from other countries, for example, from Argentina or so on, personnel. That's why it is quite complicated, because when you have the process of identification or verification or even integration with some of the stream services, there can be some problems and bugs which would occur during these processes. And that's why some people could not launch their business right on time. Sometimes they even postpone it. Or it can also happen that the result would be different from the needed one. For example, just because these criteria couldn't afford us to be the best, but our criteria made us the best around the world. Thank you very much. It's very essential and significant for our colleagues too, and I hope they would get some points. Maybe somebody else has questions to Taras. Taras Nikolaevich, thank you very much because everyone understood everything. So maybe if someone would get some questions, maybe private questions, they would contact you directly. Thank you for staying tuned. And as Taras Nikolaevich told, biometrics is our future, but I also believe that VR is also our future. That's why I want to hear the speech of Viktor Ivantsov, Technical Director of VR Finch Technologies.
С удовольствием поделюсь своим опытом, нашим опытом, по сути, работы на международном рынке. Так получилось, что тема сегодняшнего форума, по большому счету, это то, как выходить после российского рынка на международный.
Of this forum, we have absolutely different situation. So we started with the international market, and now we're trying to develop our business in Russian market. So we are dealing with the helmets, with the systems of engineering, with the monitoring the movements of the users throughout the internet space. And thanks to a very strong engineering school, we have a very good team from Technical Aviation State University in Bashkortostan. And when we started in 2015 in Russia, we did not have any customers. The customers were abroad, and the majority of the customers are the producers of the smartphones and, I would say, innovation companies. So when we made the prototype of our device, we introduced it in Las Vegas exhibition. So we hired the wall and the place within actually a very interesting and popular engineering and technical companies. And in 2017, we met the companies at Samsung, Intel, NVIDIA, Qualcomm, HTC, and all popular and distinguished technical companies. So mainly, they actually estimated our technologies on a high level for two reasons. The first is the technical implementation. So that we foreseen from the point of view of technology in the future. And so, for example, we used special gloves that monitored the movements. And the second was, so before, to monitor the users, we used the optimized sensors that the person usually carried, and the flow of these markets showed that people would like to simplify the engineering devices. So we've made it work. So after our first exhibition, we decided to cooperate with these companies, and the first contract happened in 2018 with the HTC company. So we made the project, the program. We've made some orders for them, and they actually manufactured the devices around the world. So they had our own designs. So And we also made the cooperation with the Qualcomm company. So all Android smartphones are using Qualcomm softwares, and all the clients of Qualcomm started to be our clients. So from the point of view of international market, we understood that we need some selected department of the to work with these corporations, and in the process of the work, we just lived in the office of these big companies in the USA, in Thailand, and China, everywhere in a main offices. And we usually leave there for 2 minutes, just to any time to be free to test our products and provide any information. So that we're developing in this way, in this direction currently. So we're attracting international clients. We have never, we always said that we were manufacturers and engineers from Russia, but just under current circumstances, we have separated some businesses. So we decided to develop the Russian business, and we are not waiting for the customer, for the manufacturer. So you know that we don't have smartphone manufacturers. So we decided to make our own product. And so it's not about software or algorithm or designs, but the full device and product just to go to the, directly to the customer. We are preparing for the production, the digital helmet, and we've been developing this project for many years. And the first customers are the state orders. So you can use them in absolutely different situations, like some emergency cases, for example. And recently, the most governmental and state orders, they require mostly Russian manufacturers and producers. So we are reproducing the whole basically list of the services with the designs, with the technologies, and with making final products. So we have this experience from the international market to the domestic market, and I should say that these two types of businesses are absolutely different, but we're still very ambitious and we like some adventures and challenges. And we're also planning to do the pilot project. So when the situation will be stabilized in the near future, we would like to introduce ourselves as the manufacturer of the products. So with our own devices and ecosystems for these products. So that was our very unusual experience. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask them. Victor, can you please tell us? So it's pretty difficult to sell a new product, and we know why, because this is an analog. So how do you go to the new customers? Do you have your references to the previous experience, or you go with the new product? It's actually pretty simple to go to the international customers because we have our previous works. We can provide them the examples of ready ecosystems. So, for example, with the digital helmets, for example. So this process is pretty automized. And speaking about domestic and Russian customers, initially we're not selling the virtual reality to virtual reality. So nowadays we are agreeing all these processes. We have some training institutes So these institutes, they train the personnel with the emergency cases. And we also having like a pretty modest lab, just creating some new projects and devices.
Поэтому они приходят к нам, по сути,
So, and these customers, they come to us, to decrease their risks. And just before to start using the device, we are making the copy, and the customer can come and try this copy. And mainly, we can say that we have direct agreements with the customers. They just reveal their problem. For example, the cable factory, and they say that we have a lot of breaks with the cables, and we don't have stable, stuff. And after they introduced the virtual reality, so they actually kept the money, and their production increased.
поэтому
So, first of all, it's the increase of the safety. This is the economy for the training of the employees, and so basically, this is the answer. Dear colleagues, there's the question. Unfortunately, we cannot hear the question.
Искусственный интеллект.
So the questions were about AI and ChatGPT, but there were so many, questions. Have you dealing with that? Yes, we're dealing with that. This is the part of our work as well. So can we go and speak about you afterwards? Yeah, of course. I'm so glad that we have such forums and they have efficient outcome as the contacts and sharing their experience. Can you please tell us what is the future? What are the decisions for the future? And what is the
российские разработчики очень сильны
solutions? So we've traveled a lot around the world, and we, for example, tried, taxi services, and they were, pretty old decisions for that. So in Russia, we have some plans and some planned programs and softwares. And so actually we have some decisions that are not working in other countries. And if you go to other country or the international company and suggest that, we understand that we have a very big let's say distance between us, because their technologies are pretty low. So it's dealing with the food, with the taxi services. In the corporate or business software, we the situation is pretty difficult. There are special filling forms and the processes that should be done step by step.
зарубежных производителей и сделать как минимум.
And
Вот.
so we can use actually B2C processes that are still working here very good. And the main point is to understand what the customer wants. If you look through the mobile phones, and you will see the app stores, you will find the applications that were made mainly by Russian manufacturers. Any questions?
Виктор, да, мы с вами уже общались, как-то это было.
So we have spoken recently, and our dialogue was pretty effective. So my question is, so you said that you worked in just in, you know, the processes, all of that. And have you ever thought to start working with our smartphones? So I've seen actually that somebody tried to do new models of smartphones, but I think this idea failed. And you said that Russia is strong because we understand what the customer wants. And I also want to say that what the female customer would like to have. And having smartphone in their hands. So maybe we can collaborate on this direction. So you can see, you can find actually a very, very good customer for you to work in the future. We actually visited the companies, Russian companies that manufacture smartphones, and they had different ideas. So, for example, they had a smartphone that is somehow has some interesting and unique opportunities for different genders, but we're not going to, go advance them. Well, next year, while the business week, I think I hope to listen to implementation of these projects. So we somehow started talking about AI. So we cannot imagine modern businesses without AI. So I would like to represent so Timoshin Viktor.
CEO of Lexema, Timoshin Viktor.
Увеличить бизнес-процессы до 30%.
So he also can reduce 30% of the expenditures. What about your position right now on the international market?
Мы, конечно, сейчас концентрируемся.
Of course, we are firstly concentrated on the Russian market, domestic one, but the first steps on the international market are already made. What we develop is mostly characterized by intelligence, just because we have partners in Emirates, India, also first deliveries, also first buyings, but of course we mostly work on our domestic market. What about the presentation? Would you like to show it? Can I take the clicker, please?
Будет на самом деле интересно посмотреть,
Of course, it will be very interesting to see the experience of this company, because it's quite popular and quite effective on our market. So to see Lexema as the system for automatization of business processes of the company. I believe that this company also knows the B2B market. As for B2C, we have already discussed.
Мы как
Yes, in fact, we are working in the corporate market. We prepare the informational systems for joint companies and enterprises. We have already launched a lot of projects and also entered the register of certified IT companies. And also on the regular basis, we receive grants
российских грантодателей.
from Russian grant delivers. That's the way how we developed our technological basis. Our products are enlisted into top Russian IT products, at least 5 of them. Concerning the automatization of the business processes, traditionally everyone knows, everyone faced such systems as ERP system, the CRM system, they are at present in each joint company, because any large company is working for dozens of years. And recently, several years, there are also new technologies coming to this industry, which are quite widespread and show a great economic effect. It's RP technologies and AE. It's not a separate system. We use AE in another way. We search and find in this or that enterprise
место, как
just a narrow space, some driver, which can be solved with the help of these technologies. And usually in this place, there could be a substantial economic effect. Here, further in my presentation, I can show you the best practices of our projects. Talking about our ERP platform, it has traditional functions which are present in most large ERP systems, and also
некое новое
there is one new function which is connected with robotics, which helps
несколько факторов. Один фактор
to eliminate several factors. First of all, to speed up. Talking simply, old ERP systems were only for registration of information, but all the activities were made by people. The robots changed the behavioral model of the system, and they can also make some decisions and put them into operation. Of course, they could start some of the processes or even test some business processes within themselves
часто
that often lead to some economic effects, even substantial economic effects. I'd like to present two projects, two examples which we have. It would be evident on the stage of the project that this is quite effective solution. The basis of it consists of our ERP system, and it is managed by it. All the events are registered there. Example, accounting systems, enters and left outs. Apart from traditional system of accounting all the events and cases within the company, we also introduce a robotized system for tender choice and also automatized system for preparation of documents. When the enterprise is working on one market and they have a lot of potential customers, so there are many tenders, to work out one tender, you need at least 1 week of work, because you need to prepare the documentation, also prepare technical documentation, also create the list of expenditures of the complex of robots has the goal, the objective to automatically fulfill all the tasks in several minutes. If right now to process the tender you need 1 week, finally we would like to reach such terms as several minutes. And as a result, the enterprise could process at least all Russian market, and we account for increase of sales volumes. On the other hand, the enterprise provides the e-wardrobes, for example, when people have problems with some already installed technical equipment, they could receive the the problem, the application for repairs in several minutes, and it would be quite competitive because the documents would be prepared faster than talking about opponents. Another project with a EU which is under design right now is work for Prestar Holding. It's partly present in Bashkortostan and partly in Yekaterinburg. And it's included the agricultural enterprises, also grinder plants and processing refining plants. All these enterprises are connected within each other with some chains, ties, which are very different. They have already introduced a lot of softwares, for example, 1C, other systems. We make another foundation, for example, the accounting systems, which unify all other in it, and also budgeting systems. Above these two systems, we also built up the
От прогноза погоды и тех агротехнических мероприятий, которые
interest rate systems among all that enterprises which are available, and also about the crops which can be present, which can be planted within the fields which we have. We can also forecast the sales and expenditures in accordance with our statistics, and on the basis of this forecast, we can choose the most effective model for processing and planting the fields, harvesting the fields also. It would provide us the higher effectiveness or efficiency, because this algorithm is very complicated and it's impossible to keep everything in one human head. It's too much. So here the system can count around several schemes, several variants, and choose the most efficient one. So the expenditures for this accounting, for this assessment, are quite low, just amortization of all the expenditures involved into development of the system. So the income would be in tens, dozens of percents. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Victor. Victor, I have a question. I'm sorry I interrupted you. So, do you think it's not needed in abroad? You were just telling it looks like a fantasy. Really? I think they need. But all these new technologies require certain growth, and these are our first pilot projects. And I think that we will be able to scale among the country and abroad, of course. And as per our made agreements, we're planning to work on the projects and have twice more projects. But these processes require investments to start working internationally. So that's why we decided to implement this fully in a domestic market. Thank you very much for your question and for the answer. So what is big businesses are doing as the company Rostelecom? So I would like to introduce Aksionova Yulia. She is Deputy CEO, Director of Rostelecom Corporate and State Segment. So for sure you have a lot of solutions within the spreading information and details. So what products do you have for international market? Good evening, colleagues. Yes, I would like to start with the domestic Russian market and what we're doing there. And So what solutions do we have within IT programs? So every speaker has told that the pandemic somehow accelerated the IT sphere, and all the processes are go to digital technologies. So what is the digital reality? I would like to just say it again, that in the beginning you said that the increase of the volume of inner software development, and the second is there is no international vendors, and it helps to develop all the projects in our country. So there are risks in the sphere of labor policy and the scaling of AI. So these are new waves of digital processes. So if answering the questions, why do we need digital transformation?
Прогнозы BCG.
We can look at the BCG prognosis. We had a survey of the company, so their attitude to the transformation of their company. So you can see 2 years that we compare 2018 and 2022, and you see the changes. So I think there is no fear at the moment, and there is more readiness of the business to to make work and to be more flexible in terms of digital processes.
Технологии.
What are digital technologies? It's not a surprise or a secret, but still, sometimes it's not clear what is it. So what should I do so to implement digital technologies and use them successfully? So this is the bridge from difficult, complex to something simple, so which helps to do the business successfully. Just an example how a very distinguished and famous company reached the digital technologies. So Disney World had the decrease of so the level of satisfaction of clients were very low, and there was a very interesting solution for that, digital decision. So there was a program, My Magic. So they had, in the end, GPS navigation, they had reservation bracelet, 3-in-1, so that parents knew what their children are doing, and they were pretty trustfully. So the company, as a result, increased NPS, and it's got more efficient processes within the country. So this is a very good solution for the company. So in any processes, despite the opportunities, we have some threats, hazards. Right? Okay, so the absence of digital transformation, this something that will destroy your business. So one more example, a very popular company, Netflix, that decided to start new reality. Since 2007, it spread the DVD discs with the videos. So at that moment, the customer didn't understand what is it, and they were critics. And in the end of 2020, the number of subscribers of the service crossed the line up to 200 million people. And if we talk about current situation, what we're doing, so despite the fact that we are the company of infrastructure net, we decided last year to go forward. So we decided to be the first among the competitors. So we opened the digital office, and we opened just during 1 year. So we, went through the process from idea to implementation.
В содействии совместно
So together with the Association of IT, the companies of the Republic of Bashkortostan. So what is it? What is it, the platform? So this platform is for producing digital solutions for business communication, negotiations. In our office, we have stands of the examples of implemented and real cases, because we can, for a long time, to talk about what we are doing together with the, many slides of the presentations, but you are able to go there to see what solutions you can implement in your company. During 1 year, we've managed to make our own system, and we've got the pyramid of digital processes. So you can see 4 of the levels, but we have more of them actually. So the lowest level is the collection of information, reports, intellectual sensors, and other figures. So the next level is the managing and digital
уже
processing of the manufacturer.
здесь
So here, as I said before, are the main solutions of 1C Lexams.
выше
So, and the top level is when we are implementing the strategic management for development of the business. How we are working.
все
So we split all the processes on steps. So the beginning is the assessment of the current level of digitalization. And then we will end it finishes with the economic efficiency of our business. So these are solutions for different industries. We mainly consider individual solutions depending on requirements and demands of the customer. So the packages of our services will be different. So just to add to our topic, we started with the Russian market. And I like the term that were mentioned, that we're actually doing intelligence or research, but somehow we're starting slightly communicate with the international companies. So usually we are having delegations or some international missions. So for example, there was an exhibition in Kazakhstan. So I can say that we're also having relations with the Kazakhstan and Belarus. So, for example, we've had a good experience with colleagues from Belarus. So they came here, they visited our office, and there was born the idea to do a project to create the application of finding the persons with the GPS, with the maps, with the movements of the person. So it helps for business to control and monitor the personnel.
свой костюм, и это уже готовая продукция с дополнительным функционалом.
So, and just to finish, I would like to say that anyway, we are always rating the effects by numbers, by figures, but I will not tell you in details. So it depends on the specific direction of the business. So what are the effects? We're increasing the business revenues. We're decreasing risks and losses, of course. So I have done with my presentation. You can see my contacts, QR code. So you will be able to see some new projects and also get to know new cases. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. Unfortunately, we cannot hear the question. So about these patches that you mentioned with the application, so do you think that people would not be mind to use them? So this is the question of safety. It will be more popular on some industrial companies, on some remote located companies, when like the head of the companies are not able to control, some processes and people. So I would be actually very glad to have this patch if I'm working on the field somewhere and other people know where I am. So have you decided how do you put these patches? Are you using like in your skin or on your clothes? On the clothes, of course. So my question is, so we're dealing with the energy services, and I've heard that you have a very interesting projects with the housing and public utilities. So do you have any ideas, to implement some project to, decrease the payments, for example, and to make the system for citizens, to help to, calculate these numbers? Well, I'm so surprised that we are leaders of this company, and. So I've checked this on the internet that Rostelecom is the top company. Well, we are doing absolutely these things from the point of view of citizenship, comfortable using. So having additional equipments like additional lights that make the economy of the light consuming processes. So we are getting less expenditures. Yes, we're doing this business just around the country because Rostelecom has all its offices around the country. So I would say that it's pretty popular just within some state institutions rather than businesses.
Спасибо большое, Юлия.
Thank you very much, Yulia. Have you mentioned or not? But the two previous speakers said very important and key words. Victor said about grants and supports. Thanks to that, the company reached these goals. And I've heard about this in the beginning of the summer when we talked with Victor about that. So how grants are supporting businesses. And Yulia also mentioned that that the ministries are also supported this. So can you tell us, please, what the government helps to do the business successfully in our Republic of Bashkortostan? So my name is Ruslan Siddiqov. I'm the head of Digital Technologies Department, the Ministry of Digital Development, the Ministry of Figures tries to help in many ways on the Republican level as well, just because there were some limitations and sanctions, and there were some companies who left our market. There was a statistics that we have the loss of IT specialists was in a very big amount. That's why by the government of the Russian Federation to create some supporting measures for companies to develop competitive products and to fill in this niche that is kind of a free now, and for the companies to create and develop products for different industries of the economy. There was approved the act, which is number 83. There was named several supports like tax preferences, so delay of mobilization and military service, and there are some privileged loans, preferential lending, and there are some companies actually who could use these privileges as well as state certification. So I would like to tell you a little bit about accreditation for the companies and businesses. Nowadays, to get accreditation, we have 3 ways that are described in the legal act that was approved last September. So 3 ways, as I said. The first is for the companies. So the average salary should be not less than the average salary around the country. And the main code of the economic activity 62 or 63. And there were also included another codes, and they're also mentioned in that legal act. So there were added some other codes of industries, and something new you can find on the website of the company should be information about what the company does exactly. So this is the first condition. The second one is pretty the same. The only difference is that the second way has no salary requirements. One of the main conditions are the income of the company should be more than 1 million rubles, and the organization should be the right owner of BAO. So other outputs and information about the activity of the company should be on the website.
Условия есть для малых компаний, потому что
And there is one more business for even small companies that have difficulties to get accreditation.
такой посыл.
For some regions, there were a notification that regions can create their own register for small companies. And after getting the permission to this register, they can get accreditation. So our ministry is developing this register, and nowadays we
одобрения
Just these days, we should get the approval from Ministry of the Digital Processes of Russian Federation relevant documentation. And I think that's from the next year, we will get the approval and approve, and we'll start giving accreditation to the companies in our republic.
по аккредитации
I would also mention that who cannot get accreditation, these are companies or state companies.
50% это ГУП,
And so all different types of educational tax organizations and the apparatus of telephoning, they cannot use this accreditation. So there are some measures, state measures for today. Since 2020,
есть меры поддержки по
we have preferential lending for the accredited or non-accredited companies with the interest rate of 3 and 3.5%.
такая хорошая мера поддержки есть, но
So we have a very good, measure that companies actually hardly use, and we have an analytics to find out why they are not using it. So nowadays banks provide loans with the 15-17% of interesting rate, and why not less? And the only thing that I can say that the loans are given under some projects and programs, and so the company develops the program,
численность сотрудников
and the average number of employees to get these loans should not decrease
вот, ну, я привязаю
not less than 85%. So I suggest you to use this kind of measure because it's really active till the end of the next year. If you have the necessity to use it, you can contact us, and we will be glad to consult you. I would also mention that not all banks are able to provide this measure. There are only 14 banks. The Ministry of Digital Development have the certain list of these banks, so you can go to the Ministry of Digital Development and contact. So I can also say that we have our local regional measures. In terms of Legal Act number 83, last Republic of Bashkortostan has tax preferences for IT companies, but so the conditions are pretty the same. So the company should be accredited. The company should have the activity code 62 or 63, and the company should have simplified tax system.
налогообложения дохода будет
And the
5%. Вот данная мера поддержки
so this measure of this local measure is active till the end of the next year.
будет резолюция на федеральном уровне, то на
So the tendency will remain the same. We will have the resolution on the federal level, and these measures will be prolonged in the future. I should also say that this year there was approved the process of approval of this company of these companies. In October, we had the competitions for grants for the companies that should create the programming products for industry and for the state sector. So the size of the grant is 3 million. Subsidies, these are subsidies. So the conditions of the company should be the same. So the company should be the subject of the small industry, and it should be registered on the Russian software register and should have the code 62 and 63.
Состояться в этом году.
So we should have the first competition this year at the end of November. So we've got some applications, and in December we are planning to provide these subsidies. Also this year we've made a Republican preferential lending. It has a little differences from the federal one. So we have the interest rate of 4%.
Следующий спикер.
So that was a mortgage conditions. So I would also take your attention that since this July, these grants and these measures are not so attractive, though talking about the interest rate, it's much less than federal one. But it's not really popular. So we would like to make some analysis about that and statistics. And in terms of this forum, I think that companies will get to know about this, and till the end of this year, we have not much time to use it. So the sponsor, the only bank that provides the mortgage loans is Domorev company. That's it for now. Thank you very much. So actually, there are so many things are done, and there were so many questions I have been asking why companies are not using these measures. If you have any information, if you will get some analysis and statistics, can you spread this information to other regions, to find out why people are not using it? Thank you very much, Ruslan.
So, of course, it's an essential topic too. But I believe that the most important aspect for IT personnel is, of course, mortgage service. So here, for example, recently we see that we have a great demand because the rate is increasing. But still, as I know right now, they decided to make a fixed rate for this period of time, and I think it's high time that people would use the IT mortgage. So what is the situation with IT mortgage right now? I also want to give the floor to Regina Ganeva, the director of Dom RF Retail Sales. So what is the current situation? Good afternoon, good evening, distinguished participants. I will start right with the answer. We were talking about small volumes of the regional mortgages. It's the pilot project together with Ministry of Digital Affairs and also the government of the Republic of Bashkortostan. But all in all, IT mortgage is very popular. I'd like to highlight some peculiarities and differences, because here it's about the choice from our potential customer, what he wants to choose, IT mortgage or preferential mortgage. First of all, I'd like to present Bank Dom RF. It's a bank which exists on the market for quite a long time, and it is a 100-state bank. Our participant, our owner is the Russian Federation. We are enlisted into top 4 banks. We leaders on sharing the mortgage services and providing mortgage services in accordance to 2023. We have a wide range of mortgage services for our customers, and for every potential client, we have the choice on our products. I also want to notify what we have highly developed project financing. We are also included into top 3 banks on project financing. For example, the constructors also opened the loans on our bank and built up their housing opportunities on the basis of this money we share. I'd like to stop on one of the topics which are essential for us. It's mortgage services for IT specialists. It started in May 2022, and it became widely interesting for most of the customers. Nowadays, you can take it from the rate 4.5%. The biggest amount is 18 million rubles for 1 million citizens, the cities with 1 million citizens, and 9 million for those who has less than 1 million citizens in the city. So, but with the help of subsidies, you can even get more. But the reason is that you need to pay for the construction company, for instance. How to get the mortgage? First of all, it's our customers should work in the specified IT company. So the list is available in internet, and you can check it up if your company has accreditation and Ministry of Digital Services. So you should also reach the age of 21 up to 50, and also there should be some restrictions in your salary. We have one amendment to the topic of your income. If you're a client up to the age of 35, we have no restrictions on the salary you have. If you are older than 36, there is ranging in accordance with the city they live in, and also starting from 70,000 up to 150, depending on the population of the city he lives in. What can you get? First of all, and the building, the housing under constructions, for example, those where the investor can be of any type, for example, even just person or even legal entity. They could take IT mortgage for building the house on his own area or firstly buying this area. One feature is that you need to construct it only with the help of the holder who has the accreditation in our bank too. You can find this list in internet too. Up to this rate, we use some discounts and also some other stimulation, but the smallest rate is 4.5. Then talking about regional IT mortgage, here we have a reduction on 1%. The rate if the client wants to buy it in according to this program. There is only one feature. This customer should live on the territory of our republic and also buy the housing on the territory of our republic and work in the organization which has the accreditation and also registered on the territory of our republic. So it's a full republic support which is directed to IT specialists which live or plan to live and work on the territory of Bashkortostan. Right here, I want to highlight that the customer can choose first or second. If he wants to take the second, because here we have restrictions for 6 million rubles. If you want to take more, so for this reason, it is better to take an all-Russian program. If it's enough for him to have 6 million and he can add his personal money, so he can use this rate, which is even less than agricultural mortgage. It's very profitable, I could say. I also would like to address you as employers of such companies. It's a great way to attract your personnel or your worker and also to fix him on his place. Just because the client should support his workplace, he would stay at his workplace for 5 years and confirm it with the help of other documentation, for example, e-labor card and so on. So you can use it in order to save some special representative from your staff, some special worker, and he won't move. Because you see that some of the routine questions cannot be solved easily. Everyone wants to live in comfortable atmosphere, and nowadays, mortgage is the only way to get better housing and better lodging. So, as we are talking right now about IT industry, we also use all your developments, and our bank also conducts online deals. I will talk about it a bit. So we use your technologies and we try to make it popular so for the customer to conduct the deals at any place he wants. He needs just to have identification, then to release ICP keys, and he can conduct any deals from any part of the world. So DOM-RF is also using it actively. We have a lot of people who are working remotely or need to have a business trip abroad. It helps and also provides the opportunity to use electronic signature and sign all the documentation you need. So we could say that it's all about pandemic who changed our reality and our vision, and also our needs of clients. The clients' demands changed due to this. Many people want to move from flats, their boxes, to some houses where they would have more meters and they would have garden or yard. So this program is also quite popular among customers. And IT specialists could also use the mortgage for building and building up not only housing on their territory, but also to buy a ready-made house. No difference who is the owner of the construction on this territory. So you can use the IT mortgage. The maximum amount is 18 million rubles, so I believe it would be enough for a good house in the suburbs of the city. And until the end of the year, there would be some special discounts, and on the regional mortgage, a person can take just the house, you can buy the house at a stake of 3.5%. Why is it so comfortable? A lot of people are working remotely, so to live in the suburbs in a house, it would be more comfortable than to stay in a flat. And also, as for the second year, these products and also living in some special areas in the suburbs or outskirts of the city becomes more and more popular just because our customers have the need to move out from the center of the city. As for the advantages of our programs, I won't stop here for that long and also stress it too much. I also want to talk about private housing construction. If we were talking before and bought everything in just blocks of flats, right now it also quite effective. So you can invest into construction of the new house, and our bank is one of the first who take part in construction of such housing in the outskirts of the city. So it is a safe deal. There won't be some casualties connected to it. So all the money of our investor would be at his account. It's the same. It would be opened only after he would get the ownership documentation for this house as it works for flat. I think that's all. If you have any questions, I would be glad to answer. 3 and 5%, I could say yes, it's magnificent. Taking into consideration how all the rates are increasing and what is the situation, I could say that on behalf of country to support the field, mostly IT specialists, and prepare for them some subsidies, it means that IT is our future because government pays more attention to this field. And despite all the economic situation, they do not cancel it. They add new factors to it. They renovate it. And I address you, the employers of IT companies, that your personnel could get better conditions for lodging on such nice rates. So I believe that those people are blushing who are already planning to get the mortgage and how to cover it up. So how could they do? For example, cover it up and then take another one. They can take second one. So they need only 20% of the payment right from the beginning, and the house is there. Okay, see, I put it down. It's enough to have 3 months in IT industry, and we will offer you this opportunity. Thank you very much. It's a nice support, so we need to use it. As I see, that's all. We want to finish up our session. I could say that it was very nice discussion, but we started from Russia, then went to other countries, and then backwards, and then we see intelligence. Here we have support. I believe that, yes, it was very an energetic session, and also hearing about 3.5%. Thank you very much for all the speakers, for your attitude to our topic, that you discussed international markets. It shows how we can grow, how we can scale, and how this direction is supported. It's unbelievable. Thank you very much for those who joined us. And if you have any questions, you can address anyone who was here discussing these topics. Unfortunately, the interpreter cannot hear the text. So if you want to address some of the speakers. You can find the contacts on the website of the Entrepreneurs Union of Bashkortostan. So most of the information is provided on this website. Also in My Business Center or My Business. Also on my private page or the page of the Entrepreneurs Unity Union of Bashkortostan. So all the information and all the contacts are available online. Thank you. Thank you.